Good evening, sci-fi fans. Once again, Willie Todgerson has came on the internet. And today, he will be making a video through this device known as camera. It will be a booktube video about a book haul which I have performed to the best of my ability over the weekend. Once again, I am coming to you live via the magic of internet tubes, mainly the internet YouTube device, which I will be using to contact you all electronically, like a sort of telepathy of the visual spectrum. Now today, you may recognize me, as you do most days, as the author, Willie Todgerson Jr., who has written many a science fiction, fantasy novel, book, and perhaps occasionally a short story or two. Many of these books are now out of publication because they are too good for the world as it is. Books such as The Man Who Was Made of Bad Atoms, and the third in the series, The Man Who Was Indeed Made of Bad Atoms after all, after the second book, which was called The Man Who Was Not Made of Bad Atoms. It's a little twist of a third part of the trilogy. I hope you did enjoy it when you read it, which you must have done if you are watching my video on YouTube, because otherwise you would not know who I am. Now today, I will be performing a short video play for you, the Booktube collective of many peoples. A people I like to call the Booktubian peoples. Yes, indeed I do say that from time to time when I speak to my wife, who is known as Mrs. Fanny Todgerson Jr. I don't know why she took the junior part of my name, but she did. Now today, the video performance I will be performing for you today is another book haul, because I did go into a shop at the weekend days, mainly the Saturday day, which was yesterday, but not the today day, which was the Sunday day, because that would not make sense, because most shops are not open on a Sunday here in the land of Gran Britain. That, my friends, was a little Michael Moorcock reference for you to enjoy. Now, I should commence the booktube video about a book haul, because if I do not, I may be hunted down by yourselves for being incredibly annoying and obtuse. But first, I realize I must inform you of a dangerous individual who is on the loose. It is a little boy called Levi, who has began to imposter me on the YouTube. I may put a little video here.
Author of such books you may have heard of, such as The Man Who Was Made of Bad Atoms.
I might not, but I hope I do. Otherwise, that will have been a pointless maneuver. Now, make sure you are watching the real Willie Todgerson Jr. And you are, because I am me. I will begin to haul the books into the video. First, I purchased this Damon Knight book called Rule Golden, and the cover appears to feature what appears to be a hairy butt plug man, alien with a pointy head. Now this book intrigues me greatly, for it is by Damon Knight, who, as you all know, was a science fiction author. It is a book of short stories, as is the style of the time. One of the short stories in the book is known as The Dying Man, much like myself. Another book purchased is H.G. Wells' The Sleeper Doth Awaken, or The Sleeper Awakes. Now this is a book I have read many a time when I was a small boy and I was friends with H.G. Wells. He used to regale the tale to me when I was but a small boy, and he was also but a small boy. It was very intriguing of a story at the time, and now it has become true. It is true. The year 2100. London has grown to giant proportions. Skyscrapers tower all around. Great wind wheels revolve slowly above the city. Broadcasting and television are the method of communication, for there are no longer any books. In medicine, hypnotic suggestion is the universal nostrum. It is to these startling new advances that Graham awakes from his trance. Startling because he has been asleep for more than 200 years, much like myself. The next book the man sold me was this Robert Silverbergian book known as The Feast of Saint Dionysus, which is another short story collection of short stories, and it says, for Barry Malzberg, who, as you know, is a science fiction author, much like Robert Silverberg. The Feast of Saint Dionysus. A guilt-ridden ex-astronaut searches for meaning. That's very vague. Schwartz, Between the Galaxies. A jet-traveling anthropologist takes refuge in a starship fantasy. That sounds exotic. This is the road. 4 creatures are fleeing along a treacherous road. That one sounds very boring. It's just a man on a road. A man made of 4 creatures. The creatures could be bad atoms. I do believe Robert Silverberg may have read my little book that I wrote and then wrote it again himself as a short story and changed everything about it. That is a cunning move by Mr. Silverberg. Anyway, The Early Del Rey #1 is the next book in the book haul video. Now this cover is lovely. I hope it is in focus. Maybe if I do this. It is a man who is a clown, and he is also a typewriter. And he is also 2 spooky skulls. Now I don't know about you, but a triple-headed typewriter man is something I'm very interested in. Indeed. Now this, as is the thing today is another book of short stories. And there are 12 in the book which I could read if I read books, which I do ostensibly. A book. Ursula K. Le Guin. This time they remembered the K, but they have put a space between Le and Gwyn, which, if you ask me, is tantamount to vandalism. Now this book is a book of short stories. From dream worlds to nightmare planets, from the boundaries of madness to the 6 points of Ursula Le Guin, we forgot the K, Ursula Le Guin's 3-dimensional compass. These stories are a mind-shaking reminder of the uniqueness of Le Guin's unsettling visions. They make her sound like a scary horror author, lady, woman, which she's not. She writes fantasy and science fiction. Now, speaking of a scary book, here is a very scary book. Again, featuring a clowny man. It is called Dreamland by Garfield the Cat. Now, this book reads as follows. It's opening day at the ultimate theme park. 60,000 guests are promised the time of their lives, if they can get out alive. That should be easy, it's just a theme park. The next book I bought was Kenneth Lee's The Gorgone, a book which appears to be a book of short stories. I seem to have bought a lot of collections at this man's shop. Perhaps it is all he stocks, for he likes the little baby short stories only. Now this could be the case. It is most likely not. It could just be me being a ignoramus and forgetting to buy a novel and only buying the short story type books. Another book is Memory Blank by John E. Smith. Not Johnny Smith, but wait a minute. His name's not Smith at all. It is Stith. John E. Stith. Could be Stith. Cal Donnelly woke up covered with blood, but it was not his own. It was another man's. He couldn't remember how he got there. In fact, he couldn't remember anything. It appeared that he was a computer engineer on the orbital colony Daedalus, but his wife was a tantalizing stranger, much like my own, and other people he had never seen before claimed to be his friends, much like myself on the YouTube. When he tried to unscramble the missing pieces of his memory, hoping desperately that he wasn't a murderer, people around him began one by one to have accidents. Fatal accidents. That sounds like it could be a scary book also, but within a science fiction setting. This toes the line between works of fiction, and I do not know what to make of such a thing, for I am a science fiction author only. If you want a scary book, you must go to Mr. Sebastian Imperius and say, Good evening, Sebastian Imperius. For what books doth thou giveth me? And he would say, I've got a book for you. It's called Scary Books. It's called The Rupture, or The Rupture, or Branch Manager. He would say that. Here is a book I bought called Time Hoppers by Robert Silverberg again. But this book is not a short story collection. It is, in fact, just a novel of words. And within the words are a story which has been passed down through the ages by Robert Silverberg himself via the ancient art of writing a book. I will read the back of the book, since I do that. They were disappearing one at a time, in spite of the fact that in a crowded, hungry world of 2490, there was really nowhere worth going, except down the shops to buy a Willie Todgerson book. Then they began to reappear, not in Moscow or Nairobi or Los Angeles, but in 1970, when I was born, 1981, when I was born, even the nostalgic days of the roaring 2100s, when I will be born. A way into the past had been found, and people were flocking through it for a better life. If only we could do such a thing, it would be a lovely thing to happen. Between the Strokes of Night by Charles Sheffield, who is an author known for writing a book. Between the Strokes of Night delivers a steady stream of the mind-stretching ideas Sheffield is noted for. That's not a synopsis at all. Here we go. After the nuclear spasm, Homo sapiens was extinct. Should that not be were extinct? Save for a tiny remnant scattered in small primitive space colonies. At first, solar humanity had only one goal: survival. But when the battle for existence was won, humankind began moving outward in slow, multi-generation spaceships. That reminds me of my book called The Texan, whose arms were spaceships, about a similar event. But it was just a man from Texas who had spaceship arms, and he flew into space on the arms. And there were lots of people inside the man's arms. Anyway, 27,698 AD. To these strange new worlds come the immortals. Beings with strange ties to ancient Earth. Beings who seem to live forever, who can travel light years in days, and who use their strange powers to control the existence of ordinary mortals. I suspect that's just the bloody humans from the bit before. Spoilers! Another book by Kilgore Trump's best friend. It is Theodore Sturgeon book called The Dreaming Jewels, about a little man with mysterious eyes of jewels. Now, this is another book with a clown on it, but there is also a big, buff, naked man for Tim, who has a lizard's head. That's a very peculiar looking novel to me. The science fiction author, Willie Todgerson Jr. Another book I bought from the shop was The Harvest by Robert Charles Wilson. Do you want to live forever? Yes, I do. That was the offer the travellers made to every man, woman and child on earth, and give the planet a last chance to regenerate itself. The linked promise. Just say yes, and up in their high-orbiting ship they would bring it about. Immortality and Earth survival. Another book about immortal men and Earth, and the future of Earth, and what may happen to the world as we know it in the future. Another book is A for Anything by Damon Knight again. Now this is not a short story collection. Luckily, it is a author, it said for Justin Leiber, who is Fritz Leiber's little baby. I thought it said Justin Bieber, and I was shocked and appalled by such a man. Another book which would perhaps be of interest to Andrea from the Booktube channel, Infinite Text, or the man Chris, who is a piece of paper who lives in my room, from Liminal Spaces. A Merit, The Ship of Ishtar. Now this cover is lovingly painted by probably a man, because there are naked ladies in little bubbles on the book cover. Let us have a read of the back. Ship of Love, Ship of Doom. The goddess of love and beauty was adrift on an enchanted ocean in a magic world. Much like myself, the myriad forces of satanic evil plagued the vessel of the red-haired passionate goddess. Only one man, John Kenton, the American adventurer, of course, could save Ishtar's priestess from the black magic which divided her world from ours. A very lovely little adventure book, perhaps. I wouldn't know. I have not read it. Obviously, I just bought it. Another book, Joseph Green's The Loafers of Refuge. This is a lovely pan edition, but not a pan lozenge. Earth in the year 2092 is covered with a grey blight of skyscrapers. Sounds like he's been reading the H.G. Wells book. Riots and anarchy threaten the breakdown of world order. Far distant on the colonized planet Refuge live the loafers. Loafers? Are they shoes? A race of remarkable telepaths. Their affinity with the Brechois, or tree that lives, provides an unexpected answer to Earth's problem, a solution that carries ominous implications for the future. Another book about the future of mankind. There's something about these science fiction books. They know what they are talking about, it seems. The Best of Robert Silverberg, a book featuring a lovely cover of a big gigantic woman surrounded by Rice Krispie treats. It's a short story collection. Who would have guessed such a thing? And it has an introduction by one Barry M. Malzberg, who is the science fiction author, as mentioned earlier in the video. Another book which has a lovely cover is Time of the Great Freeze, again by Robert Silverberg. Let us readeth the back of the book. New York City, 2650 AD, underground. Miles beneath the layer of ice that covered Earth in the new ice age of 2300 AD, men survive in the subterranean cities they built to save themselves as the ice crept with killing cold over all living things. For 300 years, no one has seen the surface or communicated with any other city. Until now, in the book. Now the few scientific instruments that remain seem to indicate that the Ice Age may be ending. Outside temperatures are reaching a level that may make life possible, though not easy, on the outside. Just stay underground then if it's not easy. That seems like the thing to do. A Fritz Leiber book called Ship of Shadows. It is indeed a book of short stories. Fritz Leiber, America's finest fantasist, is the winner of 6 Hugo Awards and 3 Nebula Awards. Good for him. I myself won 57 of the aforementioned awards, and they were all mine, and I got them myself. Another book is Algis Badrais, The Furious Future. Now you may remember that this book is a short story collection, and I already own a copy of it, but my copy used to belong to Christopher Priest, the science fiction author. So I am not allowed to read that book, in case my fingerprints do melt the paper upon which the signature is written. So I will read that one. A Master SF series, Land Under England, by Joseph O'Neill, a very English-sounding man. This just tells me about the series of books. I don't want to know that, I don't care. Deep beneath the surface of the earth there lies a vast subterranean underworld. It's called Hell, a world of semi-darkness inhabited by grotesque carnivorous beasts. Hell, a world of craggy mountains and bottomless valleys, torrential rivers and luminous forests. And somewhere down there, a human settlement has survived for 2,000 years. Sounds like that other book. Another book is Algis Budgis's The Unexpected Dimension. Goodness gracious, it's a short storybook collection book of short stories by not me. Although this bears a striking similarity to myself. Not really, that was just a joke in the style of Pulp Mortem's Jake Man. Another book is a Robert Silverberg book called The Stochastic Man, which is too many syllables for a word. 3, far too many. Lou Nichols' business at the end of the 20th century was stochastic prediction, high-powered guesswork. He was very good at this well-paid, sophisticated form of witchcraft, and he was quite content with the sultry Indian beauty he married. That's probably why he married her. 2 books left. Here is a book called Today We Choose Faces, which sounds like my own book. Today We Choose Arseholes. That one went out of circulation quite fast indeed. Nobody bought it. A Roger Zelazny book of... oh no, it's a novel. I thought for a moment it was a short story collection. It is not. And finally, it is this book called The World Set Free by H.G. Wells. In 1933, a scientist called Holston discovered artificial radioactivity. I don't remember that. By 1953, this new form of energy had revolutionized transport and industry. And in 1956, the world was devastated by an atomic war. Lots of wars in these books indeed. Now that is actually all of the books I did buy today. And by today, I mean yesterday. Now I have something else. What is it? Yes, my friends on the internet YouTube collective have released a novel of short stories. A collection of short stories, like all the books I bought at the weekend. Now, if I were a smarter man, I would have filmed this video tomorrow when I had the book in my hand, and it would form part of the book haul. But, alas, I have the IQ of a tiny baby shrimp who has been stepped on by a gigantic elephant-shaped hippopotamus. So I will just put a little picture here. By the book. It was edited by Jake from Pulp Mortem, and it was written by a load of people, but not me. I am also going to gift a book to one little boy called Brittlby, who contacted me via the internet, and he said, "Please, Mr. Todgerson, please, sir, please, I need a book. Please send me Other Days, Other Eyes by Bob Shaw. I can't find it anywhere. I must have this book. Please, Todgerson, please." So I'm going to send him the book through the post, and he will read it. Unlike myself. Actually, you know what? I've got 2 copies of it. And this one is worth something. I will read the back of the book for you now. Alban Garrod, scientist and amateur detective, creates a new type of glass which records and stores the events which take place before it to reveal them months or years later. Slow glass brings Alban fame, wealth, problems with his love life, and danger. When the government, like a super big brother, wants to use micro spy bugs for its own ends. My friend Brittlby, the book will arrive momentarily, or in 2 or 3 weeks, probably. Now, I think the video has become finished, so I will bid you adieu. Thank you, friends on the internet, for watching my special presentation of 25 books which I bought for to read And perhaps I may read one of the books at some point before